Hey there everybody, just doing a review for the Growatt VITA 550 portable power station. This is Growatt's newest power station. Their first power station was the Infinity 1500. Growatt is not a new company. They've primarily been known for their solar panels and EV chargers. And in this case, they're trying to break into the portable power station market. And I gotta say that they're coming in pretty hot. Two of their first power stations, the Infinity 1500 and this VITA 550, are pretty good. They're actually pretty great in my opinion, and I'll explain why throughout this review. And just taking a look at the box itself for this VITA 550 right over here, pretty nice box. Just taking a look over this side, it does have examples of what you can use the power station for, and also run times for when you're powering appliances. Over on this side, it does show the output and inputs. And so yeah, there we go. That's really about it for the box. Pretty plain one, but anyways, what's included in the box is the power station, of course. You also get a car charging cable, this solar charging cable, and a AC recharging cable. This does use a direct connection recharging method when it comes to the AC recharging. For the solar charging cable, it does have a MC4 to XT60 cable, and yeah, this car charging cable also is the cigarette lighter connector that you would use in your car, and a XT60 connector right over here. And so yeah, there we go. And also you get the manual as well. And just taking a closer look at the power station itself right over here, this VITA 550 does have a 538 watt hour capacity and a 600 watt inverter. And also the biggest deal, well, not exactly the biggest deal for this power station, but this unit also does use lithium iron phosphate batteries. So automatically this already puts this power station above any lithium ion power station within its category, because with lithium iron phosphate batteries you're able to get many more charge cycles, and in this case the VITA 550 is able to last for 3,000 charge cycles and still maintain 80% or more of its original capacity. And so in terms of the size, this VITA 550 is pretty small. Well, not exactly small, but it's going to be manageable to carry it around and place it wherever you want to. This isn't a high capacity portable power station that's like one of those really large and heavy ones. It does have a 12 by 8 by 7.8 inch form factor, and it weighs about 18 pounds. So yeah, a bit on the heavy side, but it is really small. I think it took a lot for them to fit as much as they could into the small form factor, and the weight kind of shows that. And taking a look at the front of the unit, this is where most of the output ports are. Well, I think all the output ports are on this side. This is where you have the screen. And so to turn on the power station, you just have to press the power button. Oh yeah, you gotta hold it down, my bad. But yeah, the screen is really useful. It shows the input wattage over to the left, output wattage over to the right, and the remaining capacity in the middle. And so when you're powering appliances or charging devices, it also shows you the estimated runtime. When you're recharging the power station, it also shows you the estimated recharge time. And also the huge plus with the VITA 550 power station, and one of the reasons why Growatt is probably going to become a leading brand in this space of portable power sources, is because this unit is compatible with their Bluetooth app. I will be showing that in just a second. Well, actually later on in this review. But yeah, this is compatible with an app. It's actually pretty easy to connect it to their Growatt app. As you can see, I do have the Bluetooth activated, and we're gonna get into the app a little later on. And these are the 3 AC outlets. Having 3 AC outlets on a 538 watt hour power station is great. And so they are able to output 600 watts of pure sine wave. And to turn on each of the sections have their own power buttons. You just got to press it just like that, and that section turns on. You can hear the inverter click on as well. And yeah, another big plus is that this power station does feature its Watt Plus feature that can be activated within the Growatt app. That basically allows these AC outlets to output 1050 watts. So that's like 450 watts over the original 600 watts that these outlets are able to output. And so yeah, I will be showing that as well in this review. Taking a look at the charging ports are pretty nice. I gotta say, 2 standard USB type A ports, not that great, but what does make the charging ports great are these 2 ports right over here. You get a quick charge USB type A port and a 100 watt USB-C power delivery port. And over here you do get a LED flashlight. It's not one of those piercing LED flashlights that can be found on a lot of power stations. Instead, this is a softer LED flashlight that, in my opinion, I prefer. Those type of piercing, this one has some a sort of filter over the light. As you can see, it has a flashing mode as well. And it's just a lot more pleasant to turn on. I can realistically probably turn this on at night, like if the power goes out due to a storm, due to a blizzard. So that's nice to have. Over on this side, it does have the 2 DC barrel ports and a cigarette lighter port. And so the 2 DC barrel ports are rated for 12 volts, 3 amps. The DC cigarette lighter port is rated for 12 volts, 10 amps. So yeah, just like most other power stations are. And just taking a look at the top of the unit, it does feature a wireless charging at 10 watts. As long as you have the power station turned on, you can use the wireless charging. I'll just go ahead and show the wireless charging right now, since I'm just looking at it. Yeah, I can just place my phone just like that. My Galaxy Note 9 is going to be able to fast wirelessly charge from it, as you can see. So yeah, no problems right there. It does have the handle right over here. Pretty nice handle. It is foldable completely into the power station, and so it just lays flat, and that just makes the power station a lot easier to hold. And let's take my phone off right here. And over to the right side is the one other part that you're going to be spending your time with the power station. This is the vent for the internal fan. You can actually see the internal fan. Not too sure if you can see it, but yeah, there it is. This is where the input ports are located to recharge the VITA 550 power station. And so this is the XT60 port that you're going to use to solar recharge the power station. And this is also where you would use the included car charger. This is the AC input, where you can use the AC recharging cable. And also, a pretty cool feature that I don't see a lot with other power stations is that this unit also has a fast recharge button. So the regular recharge speed, I will be showing you this, but let me just explain it first as well. So the regular AC recharging speed for this power station is about like 270 watts, I believe. And so when you press this fast recharge button, when you're recharging it through the AC input, it activates the fast recharging, and that can recharge the power station at 500 watts. And so that's pretty awesome. You can just, like, by the press of a button, you can actually recharge this power station faster. And so once again, not a lot of power stations have this feature. Do you always want to use this fast recharge button? Not always. You can also activate the fast recharging in the Growatt app. But yeah, if you don't want to wear out the batteries too quickly over a long period of time, I would recommend not going too hard on the fast recharge. But man, that's pretty cool to have as an option. And so yeah, there we go. That's really about it for the Growatt VITA 550 in terms of just doing a look around. Over on this side, it does have the barcodes for the Growatt app that can be found on the Google Play Store as well as the App Store. Over the back of the power station, oh boy, okay, yeah, that 18 pounds is a bit heavy with one hand. Yeah, nothing at the back of the unit. And yeah, that's really about it. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump straight into doing a AC capacity test and a DC capacity test to see how much of that 538 watt hours I can actually use. And then I'll jump into showing you guys app compatibility using the Growatt app, and we'll just move on from there. Probably do charging port testing as well. I will be right back to start that AC capacity test. All right, you guys. So just doing the AC capacity test for the Growatt VITA 550 power station right over here. I do have this heater running on its low setting. We're pulling about 600 watts, and I do have the watt plus setting on, so I can actually run the heater because I think at its low setting, this heater still has a 750 watt. Oh, that's my cat. Yeah, so even at its low setting, this heater still has a 750 watt output, and so I just had to turn on the watt plus feature on the power station. Not too sure if this is going to have a effect on the AC capacity testing, and so I will be right back to see how much efficiency I can pull from the AC outlets for this power station. Alright, you guys, so just back with the Growatt VITA 550 power station, and I did run down the capacity for the unit down to 0% using this Lasco heater. And so what I ended up with the AC capacity efficiency was a 410 watt hour capacity, and that gave me about a 76% efficiency rating through the AC outlets. So yeah, this is actually a pretty different AC capacity efficiency in comparison to other reviews, such as the Hobotech review of this VITA 550 power station, because I think he got a much better efficiency. And honestly, I'm going to chalk this up to the fact that I was using the watt plus feature and running this power station over its actual max output when I ran this heater. So I suppose you could just consider this the capacity that you would get by running the watt plus feature of the power station. And as you can see, I'm going to hold it down. Yeah, it is at 0% right there. And so yeah, there we go. That is the AC capacity efficiency when you run the power station on its watt plus feature. I'll do another AC capacity test in a dedicated video. And that'll be like without the watt plus feature turned on, and so I'll get probably a more accurate reading of the AC efficiency. But yeah, there we go. 76% isn't exactly too bad. It's pretty good, but I'd like to be in that 80% or higher range. Let me go ahead and recharge this power station back to 100%, and I'll run a DC capacity test using this DC cigarette lighter port, and I will be right back. Alright, you guys, so just doing a DC capacity test with the VITA 550 power station. I'm using this load tester right over here. I've just had it running for about 3 minutes so far, and so yeah, I'm just gonna be right back once the power capacity is fully depleted from the power station to see how much DC capacity efficiency I can pull from it. And I will be right back. Alright, you guys, so I did run down the capacity for the VITA 550 power station down to 0%. And so what I ended up with was a 477 watt hour capacity. And I ran this test for about 4 hours. And that gave me about a 88% efficiency rating from this DC cigarette lighter port. And so yeah, a lot better than the AC capacity test that I ran with the heater. Once again, I think I did get a low AC capacity efficiency because I ran the power station with its watt plus feature. So I will be doing another AC capacity test in a separate video. And so yeah, an 88% efficiency rating for the DC capacity is pretty good in my opinion. Alright, you guys, so I just want to show you the Growatt App Compatibility and what it features as well. So yeah, it's called My Grow, and you can just get it on the Google Play Store or on the App Store for iOS devices. And connecting to this app was pretty easy, although I did run into a small problem where it just like had a parameter error for some reason. And to solve that, I just restarted my phone and went back into the app to connect it to the power station, and everything went smoothly. So if you are having a problem connecting to the power station, I recommend just restarting your phone to see if that helps. And so that's really the only hiccup that I had. And so yeah, in this case, you can just click on it right there, and it's just going to show the status of the power station right here. As you can see, it shows the battery capacity remaining, output wattage, input wattage, and the internal temperature of the unit as well. You have the option to turn off the power station. However, just something to know, of course, you can't remotely turn on the power station. The power station has to be on in order to connect to the app. So once you turn it off via the app, this app basically becomes useless until you actually physically turn on the power station. In terms of the controls, you can actually turn on the LED flashlight right over here by pressing that button. As you can see, it turns on right there. You have the option to set the flashing mode, and you can just turn it off as well, of course. And also something pretty cool that I found, you can actually dim the light from the app. Look at that. That is nice. You can remotely turn on the AC outlets from here as well. Remotely turn on the DC ports, the charging ports. And something really cool about the charging ports is that it shows the output wattage of each of the ports. I don't know too many other power station apps that do this, but yeah, you can see the output wattage of each of the charging ports. I'll show you guys the charging port testing in just a second, but yeah, you can actually see the output wattage of each of the ports. The input status as well. When you solar recharge it, you can actually see the graph for the solar recharging. The same thing I think also with the AC output, it shows you the graph wattage. The watt plus feature is right here. It does give you a warning right over here in case you want to read that. So the watt plus feature takes the AC inverter from 600 watts to a 1050 watt output. You can just activate it by pressing the watt plus button right over here. I will be doing a test for that in just a second, like literally. Let me just go through the settings right over here as well, and then we'll test out the watt plus feature. And battery protection, you can actually set the battery capacity that you want the power station to just like stop supplying power to like devices or appliances. They recommend that you set it to 10%. Discharging a battery all the way down to 0% isn't good for the health of the battery, and so this prevents that from happening, which is a pretty cool feature. You can also set the temperature if you want to view it in Celsius or Fahrenheit. Charging power, this is to change the AC recharging speed. This is basically the fast recharge button off to the side of the power station that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this review. Yeah, this power button is basically this right here, and so I currently have it set to slow charge, and you can also set it to supercharge. I'll show that as well. The beep sounds, and so you've probably been hearing a beeping sound when I like do anything with the power station, such as like turning on sections or turning on the power station itself. You can actually have the option to turn that off. If you're somebody that forgets to turn off their power station, or at least in this case, the inverter, you can actually set a amount of time that the power station just like automatically turns off when it's not being used. That's actually really helpful, because if you have the AC inverter on, the power station is drawing a bit of power, and that will deplete the capacity slowly. And so the screen timeout as well, if you want to have the screen always on, because I mean it's such a good looking screen and such a helpful screen, you have that option to have the screen always on. As you can see, never, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. You can change the device name, firmware upgrade, share device, help and feedback, firmware version, device, and model. And yeah, that's really about it. I gotta say, it's a really simple app to use. It's good to look at, and it's just really helpful for when you need it. It's not mandatory to use the app, but it's just really nice to have. And to show you guys the Watt Plus feature as well, I do have a heater connected to one of the AC outlets on the power station. And so what I'm going to do is I just turned off the Watt Plus feature. This unit does have a 600 watt output. This heater at its low setting has a 750 watt output, I believe. And so it's going to automatically turn off in just a second, because I don't have the Watt Plus feature on. And yeah, there we go. So it just automatically turned off because we went over the 600 watt max output. This power station, without its Watt Plus feature, does have a 600 watt hard limit. So anything over that 600 watts, it will automatically shut down. And so I'm going to turn on the Watt Plus feature now, and I'm going to turn the heater back on. And this time it should be able to run. I'm just going to set it to its low setting again, because I think at its high setting the heater doesn't run really well. But yeah, there we go. As you can see, I do have the heater on its low setting, and instead of the power station shutting off automatically, it's running it. It's actually running it really well. And so yeah, this is what the Watt Plus feature is mainly meant for. Of course, for a 600 watt output going on right here, even if the power station was at its full capacity, which is 538 watt hours, this unit probably would last less than an hour. Still, it's really helpful if you do have a high wattage appliance that you want to power for a short amount of time, because you just need it real quick, and you just need to be done with it. That's where the Watt Plus feature can be really helpful. And also, let me just show you what would happen if I turned the heater to its high setting. The high setting of this heater does have a 1400 watt output. So honestly, I would not recommend setting a heater that high, because yeah, the heater is just not working how it's supposed to right now, because on its high setting it's supposed to be outputting a lot of heat pretty quickly, but it is not doing that. Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. But on its low setting, it performs really well. All right, you guys, so just here recharging the Growatt VITA 550 power station, and I'm using the included AC recharging cable using the AC outlet over to the side. And so the regular recharge speed is about 270 watts, and so if I want to up it to the 500 watt fast recharge speed, all I have to do is just press the fast recharge button over to the side. And once you press it, the green light on the button actually does turn on, just like that. And it changes real time from about 270 watts to about 488 watts, basically a 500 watt recharge speed. And so once again, that's pretty fast for a 538 watt hour capacity. Going from 0 to 100 at this speed, you're able to get this power station to full power in about 1.5 hours. And also, as I mentioned before, you can actually activate and deactivate this fast recharge in the Growatt app as well. Yeah, so supercharge is on, but I can switch it back to slow charge if I want to through the app as well. And as you can see, it just did that real time as well. So AC recharging is great. However, one pretty big flaw for this Vita 550 power station is that it does not feature AC pass-through charging, so you cannot recharge um, through the AC input and use the AC outlets at the same time. I'm pretty sure you can actually use the charging ports still. You can use the DC ports, but you cannot use the AC outlets while you're AC recharging. That might be a deal breaker for some consumers, but Growatt has mentioned, like in other videos and down in the comments, that this power station is mainly meant for, like, off-grid type of usage. But this power station does feature solar pass-through charging, so you can actually recharge it through the XT60 port with a solar panel and still use the AC outlets. I'm going to be showing that in this review as well. But yeah, it does not feature AC pass-through charging. Let me show you guys the car charging as well. I think the car recharging has a 100 watt input speed, so it's probably the slowest way to recharge this Vita 550 power station. Alright, you guys, so just back recharging the Vita 550 power station using the included car charging cable, and I am using another power station to do the car recharging because I didn't feel like going out to my car right now because it's all windy and cold. But anyways, I am getting about a 88 watt input speed to recharge it. So I mean, that's what you can expect. Once again, this is probably the slowest way to recharge the power station. However, it's also pretty reliable in case you're driving. If you're on a road trip, you can easily recharge the power station while you're driving. And so yeah, there we go. With that said, I'm going to head on outside with a solar panel and solar recharge this Vita 550 to see how that performs. And also I want to demonstrate the solar pass-through charging as well, like how you can solar recharge it and use the AC outlets at the same time. And yeah, that is my cat bothering me all day. Alright, you guys, so just outside with the Growatt VITA 550 power station, and I am recharging it using this 100 watt all powers solar panel. And it's a pretty clear sky day, as you can see. Basically no clouds in the sky, and I am recharging it through the XT60 input port over to the side that you would use to charge it via a solar panel. I'm getting a really good recharge speed in this case for a 100 watt solar panel. I'm getting about 65 to 70 watts of solar recharging. However, this Growatt VITA 550 power station does have a 240 watt max solar recharging speed, so just something to know. But yeah, this is a really good speed for this solar panel, that is. And I'm just gonna leave it outside all day. It's about like 12 o'clock right now, 12 p.m. I'm gonna come back at about like 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. To see how much of that capacity I'm able to fill up while this solar panel is outside recharging the Growatt power station. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. Currently at 55% right now. I'm just gonna see what the capacity is when I come back. I'm using this Anderson to XT60 adapter to actually recharge the power station, because this cable right over here is originally a Anderson cable, so this allows me to actually recharge the power station. This unit does use a MC4 connection right over here, which this power station does require. I did try to recharge it using my Alpha ESS 300 watt solar panel, but that didn't do anything. I'll try to recharge it again using a MC4 connection with the Alpha ESS 300 watt solar panel. But yeah, I'm sorry, it's kind of windy outside, not too sure if you can hear me really well. But yeah, I'll be right back. And so yeah, I started the test at about like what, 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. I think. And it's currently about 5:30 right now. Sun's about to go down fully, currently getting about 5 watts right now. And I think we started the test with the power station at 55%, and now it's at 75%. So yeah, I mean, with a continuous solar recharging speed of about, like, I think it was 65 watts, 70 watts, when the solar panels were getting a lot of sun exposure. That's what got this unit back to 75% from 55%. So yeah, I mean, I suppose that's a somewhat of a good solar charging test. Of course, you know, it depends on the sun exposure that you get with your solar panel, what type of solar panel that you're using. That's the solar charging test for the Vita 550 power station. Alright guys, so just testing out the charging ports right over here. I am using the USB Type A quick charge port to charge my Galaxy Note 9, and I'm using the USB-C 100 watt power delivery port to charge my Lenovo laptop right here. And usually I would have to have my watt meter to actually see the charging speed of my laptop. And in this case, I don't have to, because the Growatt app shows the individual wattage output for each of the ports. So that's really awesome to see. So in this case, I could see that my laptop is charging at about 26 watts. My phone is charging at 15 watts. So that's like pretty cool to see. And also just to test out if the 100 watt USB-C port is actually able to output 100 watts. I'm going to recharge this Exciter's power bank that has a 100 watt power delivery input speed. And I just gotta wait for that to start recharging. There we go. Okay, yep, there we go. It just jumped to 97 watts. So yeah, this USB-C port is actually able to output 100 watts of power delivery. That's going to be able to fast charge most USB-C chargeable devices, and basically most devices overall. And so yeah, there we go. Those are the charging ports. The only thing I would have improved is that I wish these two standard ports featured quick charge as well, such as this port. And but yeah, that's really about it. All right, guys. So just my final thoughts for the Growatt VITA 550 portable power station. The build quality of this unit is just right up there with like Bluetti and EcoFlow. It just has a solid build overall. You know, the design was just really well thought out in my opinion. But you know, just like any other power station, don't drop it. Don't expose it to water, and you're going to be fine. And you know, once again, the design of this unit is just really well thought out. The screen, like how everything is mostly at the front, the side, you got the recharging with the fast recharge button. The app compatibility as well is a huge plus for a power station. And in this case, Growatt implements it really well. You know, the app is actually useful to use because you can actually see a few more stats. You have a few more controls over the power station as well. And also this unit does use lithium iron phosphate, you know, in comparison to a equal power station, but one that uses lithium ion. This one already wins in that case. And so I think it's a strong competitor in this portable power source market that's like continuously growing at this point. There's so many new power stations coming out, and it's great. And so down in the description below, I will have a link to the product page for the VITA 550 power station. I will also have a link to the review article because I have written a review for this VITA 550. You can find that down in the description as well. And so yeah, I will be doing a little bit more testing with this power station. I'll release more videos on it pretty soon, and I will see you all on the next video. All right, goodbye.